얘네도 이렇게 이름이 있어.
Ломаняк. Прикольно.
Oh, so they like don't really interact with other elephants.
Retain water for longer periods. And the animals will make good use of this water when it gets dry. But 2.5 years ago, the period of the drought was too long until all the water holes ended up drying. This little boy was found stuck in this little sticky mud left after all the water had dried. Very lucky to have been found on one morning still alive after having bereft the lions and the hyenas all night. And found
털이 보이지? 털이
That's why
있어.
we named him Shujaa, which is Swahili for a hero. On my left, walking away, is an elephant by the name Muzinga, who is approximately 3 years old.
여기는 진흙이 이렇게
Muzinga
굳어
and
있구나.
Nyambeni happens to be close friends, the two together. And Muzinga was rescued from Savo East
진짜
National
귀엽다.
Park. She was found on the road within the park in Savo East all alone, while at the age of about 4 months, which is totally not normal and also not safe. Not safe because at 4 months she could not have defended
Why?
herself in case of any attack.
어우!
Not normal because female
진짜 방귀
elephants
꼈어.
are protective of the young ones. They do have very strong maternal instinct. They don't leave the babies
아
anymore.
냄새 확 났어.
Finding a 4-month-old baby elephant all alone meant that most likely the mother was not alive. And that is why, while at the age of about 3 months, and that is why we rescued her. She's now 3 years
Yeah.
old, and she's grown fond of Kipeke, the little one. She always wants to take care of her. Next to Nyambeni is an elephant by the name Kamili, 3.5 years old, almost 4 years, a small in size for her age. And Kamili was rescued from Sava Conservation Area. She was found collapsed on the ground within the park in Savo all alone in a very poor, thin condition. She was very much dehydrated and emaciated, very skinny, looking like a skeleton. And I say this because she only had skin and bone left on her when she came in for having stayed for a long time
느낌이
without food and without
엄청
water. And
사포 같아.
Kamili was
만져봐가지고.
starving to death. And that is why we rescued her.
Feels
It took
like
her quite a long
sandpaper.
time to recover and get back to normal before red growth could start to appear. And that is why
사진,
she's
사진 찍어,
generally
사진.
small in size in relation to her
자기
age.
찍어, 자기 찍어.
Next
아니,
is an
자기
elephant by the name Weka,
아,
who is 3.5 years old. And for information, Weka doubles to be the naughtiest girl among the girls around. She was rescued from Sava Conservation
만져봐.
Area. She was identified in the park all alone, just standing at one spot in a very poor, thin condition. This is 2.5 years ago when we had a long period of drought. So she's a starvation victim due to drought. And that's why we rescued Weka. Next at the corner is an elephant by the name Olominyak, who is the youngest boy and the most friendly boy around. And Olominyak was rescued from the Masai Mara. He's 1.5 years old. And Olominyak was rescued from the Masai Mara, found in the company of one bull elephant that was protecting him against the lions who had surrounded him, ready for his attack. Nobody knows the whereabouts of the mother and the rest of the family members. Nobody knows where this one bull came from to help protect this little boy. And nobody knows for how long the bull will stay. So that is why we had to come in and help rescue Olominyak. I named him Olominyak, which is Maasai for the lucky one. Next to me now is an elephant by the name Talek, who is 2 years old, who was also rescued from the Masai Mara, who was found in a group of bull elephants taking good care of her. Naturally, it is the females that will take care of the little ones. It is the females that have got very strong maternal instinct. But in this case, it was the bachelor's heart that was taking care of Talek. And nobody could tell what had happened to the mother. And because the bulls don't have milk, it is obvious that Talek would not have survived despite the care and the protection that she was getting from the bulls. And that's why we rescued her. Second youngest is an elephant by the name Wamata, who is in front of Olomnyak, is Wamata, 1.5 years. And Wamata was rescued from Sava Conservation Area. Wamata was sighted by our aerial surveillance who were on patrol within the park. In the air, they managed to have seen a tiny baby elephant on the ground all alone. They informed our teams on the ground to go and do a search and find out why the baby was alone, because it's not normal. And after 4-day search, there were no other elephants within this area, meaning that Wamata was an orphan. She also looked very thin, a sign that she had been without the mother's milk for some time. So that is why we had to come in and help rescue Wamata. On my left is one of the biggest that we've got, who also doubles to be the team leader or the main matriarch or the matriarch of the group by virtue of her being the oldest female. This is an elephant by the name Kerio, 3.5 years old, rescued from Kerio Valley, which is found within the Rift Valley and being specific West Pokot. Kerio was identified lying down within the park in this area by the rangers who were on patrol. The rangers thought that the mother might be within, so some of the rangers were protecting him and just waiting that the mother would be coming to collect the baby, while the others were looking for where the mother was. But after a long day of search, there were no other elephants within this area, meaning that she was an orphan. And that's why we were conducted to rescue Kerio. When Kerio arrived in the nursery, is when we discovered that both her hind legs were paralyzed.
오 따가워.
She could not make any step. She was only dragging both the hind legs on the ground. We could not tell what had
여기
caused the
털이
paralysis.
있으니까
So we had to give her some time while doing a little massage every
요
day
털이
on
있어.
both her hind legs. And after a few months, she started to improve and started to make some little steps. Since then till now, Kerio is getting stronger every day. Right behind me is the oldest boy by the name Shuja, who is the most dominant bull around by virtue of him being the oldest boy. And Shuja was rescued from Sava Conservation Area. He was found stuck in a drying water hole due to the drought. When we got heavy rains, we do have some water holes that will retain water for longer periods. And the animals will make good use of this water when it gets dry. But 2.5 years ago, the period of the drought was too long until all the water holes ended up drying. This little boy was found stuck in this little sticky mud left after all the water had dried. They doubles to be the naughtiest girl among the girls around from Sava Conservation Area. Wamata was sighted by our aerial surveillance who were on patrol among the boys. And Padman was rescued from the Masamara. Padman was found standing next to the dead body of the mother. The mother had a big wound on the back, which is believed to have caused her death. The baby found within this area in a very poor thin condition, and that's why we rescued him. That makes a total of 14 elephants that are before us now. With the families after maturity, which is above 15 years, while the females will stay together for most part of their lives. Elephants are very clever and very intelligent animals. They also do have a perfect memory, which means they will remember everything that happens in their lives. And that is why the saying that goes, elephants never forget, is very, very true. The tusks of an elephant are part of their teeth. They are their incisors. They start to grow when the nature of their teeth. And an elephant has got 6 sets of teeth. Every set will last for about 10 years. That's why any time between the age of 60 and 70, or the teeth are worn out, they will die from starvation, which is a natural death. Elephants attain maturity. Move them to a bigger stockade, where they spend the night alone in preparation to go to Savo and start the process of being reintroduced back into the wild. The act of poaching is being perfected by we human beings, and yet it is our role as human beings to care and protect for these animals. As human beings, we fail in our role by causing. And an elephant ivory adds no value to human
여기
life.
보이지도 않아.
And so that is why
그
I would like
조그만
to urge all of you are here today
지켜주는 건가?
to help stop
퇴장하는 건가?
poaching. You can help stop poaching if you
두
want.
그룹이 있다 그랬거든.
This is right from your home. And at the moment, we've got one rhino in the nursery. This rhino is called Maxwell. Maxwell is approximately 19 years old. He's a black rhino and he's blind. He was rescued from Nairobi National Park, born blind.
또 왜?
Rejected by the mother because she was blind at the age of about 3 months. And that's why we rescued him. Once you pay your $50, we will give you a certificate in the name of the elephant that you will have adopted. You'll also get a special watercolor painting, which is done by Angela. They do penetrate easily, although they look for soft spots.